was beginning from newspapers. I have found on the site, I don't remember exactly which one, I will try to find it and will give you the link. The topic framing fillets made of newspapers. It has amazed me by its simplicity, and at the same time I like the result very much. Today I'd like to show you what kind of frames I make using this technique, what we need for it. One more point. In spite of its simplicity, it leaves space for imagination and gives an opportunity to make completely different frames using the same technique. Today we will try to do it. What we need? For the simplest frame, I take 3 tubes. I spread glue on them, connect them, following the same principle, alternating thick and thin tips of the tubes. Press them to each other tightly and spread glue on them. I don't mix glue with water to have it thick. Place one more tube onto them and spread some more glue on them. It is the simplest workpiece. As for varieties, these tubes can be placed hill-shaped, or they can be placed like this. The base of the hill can consist of 3 tubes, then 2 more, and then 1 more in the upper row. The third variety, I was making a frame of 3 tubes glued to each other. In this case, I have 5 tubes glued to each other. Everything will depend on your imagination and the way you want to combine them. We define the size of our frame. The picture is 14 centimeters. The width of the frame is about 1 centimeter and 2 millimeters. That's why we leave 2 millimeters for a gap. And the length of the house is 14 centimeters. I have cut them 14 centimeters long. Now our task is to form the angles of 45 degrees sharp for cutting our workpieces. I have found such a simple method of how to form this angle. We take a piece of paper, cut it into halves, put the edges very close to each other, and draw a line from the angle up to a place where the halves cross. As a result, we get an angle of 45 degrees sharp. What I do? I put the workpiece straight here and mark as if continuing the line. Now, very carefully, on a board, with the help of a knife, we have to cut these 45 degrees very exactly. If we fail to cut the angle of 45 degrees, the frame will not be straight. Got it. Repeat the same with the others. 45 degrees were there, so the next ones should be here. The first 45 degrees of the half has been cut off. Now we turn the sheet and make the next angle. We have it marked already. Continue the line from the paper and cut our 45 degrees. This way. Now our next stage. When we have prepared our workpieces, cut them 45 degrees. Now a very important task is to glue the halves at an angle of 45 degrees. At first we will glue the halves of the frame. What we do for it? We cover the joints with thick PVA glue very thoroughly and very generously. I usually place them onto the corner of the sheet to make sure we get an angle of 45 degrees sharp. Check here and here, and leave for a night to dry. And the other half on the other side of the sheet. You can take another sheet of paper, but it is easier this way. Join them and put them straight along the edge of the sheet. And leave it to dry. 2-3 hours will not be enough in this case, so as a rule I leave it overnight. And then some more time will be needed to connect the workpieces. Yesterday I was doing the workpieces of such kind, they have dried out a little. Now I disengage them carefully. As you see, it hasn't come out perfectly, but one can mask it with crack filler. This way we disconnect them carefully. The glue is thick, that is why it has gotten stuck very well, almost like wooden. And the next stage is to connect these workpieces. We do it in the same way. Cover it with thick school glue, the joints from one side and from the other side. And spread glue here as well to avoid turning the frame afterwards. Spread glue generously and form the angle again. We have the corner, place it here. Sometimes it doesn't get flat enough here, but there is such a secret. We have connected them well and place a clear pocket onto it. We put a clear pocket because it is a front face, so if you place paper directly onto it, the drawbacks will be seen because it will get stuck. That's why we place a clear pocket and a press onto it, and leave this way for a night. So our frames have dried out. Now the next stage of our work is to correct the mistakes. You cannot do without them. You see such narrow gaps? I stick them with putty. Regular putty is not expensive, you can buy it in a construction store. At first I tried to stick them with white glue, but when I've tried putty, look at it, such a small inexpensive jar. I've liked it much more. It is actually meant for sticking the gaps, so we use it according to its intended purpose. So we get rid of such small gaps. That's all, our frame is actually ready. Look, here we have a two-storied frame, two tubes are connected between themselves, and there is a third tube on them. Here I have taken somewhat smaller tubes, but I've got a three-storied frame. Three thin tubes on the bottom, here they are, 2 more heel-like, and 1 more tube on the top. As an option, here is a 1 storage frame. It consists of 5 tubes. There can be many varieties, depending on what kind of picture you want to insert. Maybe it will be a photo, or maybe just a picture with decoupage. Depending on it, you select the required amount of tubes. The next stage. We prepare a seat, like we did in previous frames. For example, here. We have to arrange some place for our picture. So, for it, we take the stripes. Here is our front face and here is the wrong side. So we take cardboard stripes, glue them like this. Here I recommend you not to use clothespins, because I've tried and they press the tubes. Here it is best of all to stick with the help of white glue, this way. And to put some weight onto a clear pocket. The weight shouldn't be heavy because the tubes shouldn't get pressed. It will be a seat for our picture. We place a picture and arrange everything with the help of toothpicks. As a result, we get a completed picture, fixed from the wrong side.